Hello, welcome to a case study and call to action incorporating the ACRL Framework for Information Literacy in undergraduate CS courses. My name is Holly Hendrigan, and I'm the librarian for the Faculty of Applied Sciences at Simon Fraser University in British Columbia, Canada. I am joined by Diana Kukerman, University Lecturer of the School of Computing Science. I would also like to acknowledge the contributions of my colleague Keshav Mukunda, who is unable to attend this conference. This presentation is a condensed version of our paper, which provides a novel approach to information literacy and assessment in an undergraduate CS course. We define IL as a combination of technical skills, cognitive understandings, and researcher attitudes. We have gone beyond the typical one-shot, one-hour library research skills workshop, where librarians demonstrate how to find 3 peer-reviewed sources for their research essay. To contextualize IL and CS, we looked for a related learning outcome in the 2013 ACM IEEE curriculum guidelines, but there is none. However, CS instructors occasionally assign research papers and presentations as assessment tools. We believe that IL competencies are not innate and require explicit instruction. Furthermore, we also noted a research gap in assessing IL in CS students. We could find no recent benchmarks in this area. So, where to start with learning about information literacy and what topics and skills to cover? The Dominant Association of Academic Librarians, the ACRL, recently developed a framework that combines both cognitive and technical aspects of information literacy. The framework is divided into 6 frames or concept areas. This slide presents a graphic of the framework and the titles of each of the frames. It conveys the interconnected nature of the concepts. The framework presents both opportunities and challenges to academics. It's relatively new. It replaced more prescriptive standards. Librarians and instructors are still establishing best practices in teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. While many academic librarians have begun teaching the framework, to our knowledge, we are the first to attempt to assess students' understanding of the framework's principles. Our research participants were Computing Science 320 students who are taking a course that covers social and ethical issues in CS. Learning to find, analyze, and evaluate information sources aligns with the course's learning goals. We believe that university graduates, and all citizens for that matter, should have strong IL skills. Students in this course came from diverse backgrounds. Some had experience conducting literature searches, but many others did not. The unit was based on an article published in the popular Atlantic Monthly magazine called Have Smartphones Destroyed a Generation? The author, Jean Twenge, is a psychology professor and an expert on generational differences. In 2012, she noted abrupt changes in teenagers' behavior and mental health. They socialized less and suffered a dramatic increase in depression. Twenge noted that these changes began the year the iPhone was released and believed there was a correlation. We did not ask whether students agreed with Twenge, but were interested in how they assessed her authority. We also wanted students to realize that an article represents a contribution to a topic, not an absolute truth. In the assignment, we pivoted away from the content of the article and instead asked questions related to information literacy concepts. We developed learning outcomes that correlate to 2 of the frames: authorities constructed and contextual, and scholarship as conversation. This chart represents the learning outcomes and their corresponding frames. To achieve learning outcome 1, a student needed to demonstrate awareness of markers of authority such as job title, university affiliation, publication record, and life experience. To achieve learning outcome 2, a student needed to demonstrate awareness that an author's authority is not absolute. And to achieve learning outcome number 3, a student needed to demonstrate awareness that an information source resides in a context of a larger scholarly conversation. To explain the unit chronologically, Diana released the assignment, then Holly gave a workshop on the ACRL framework, focusing on 2 of the frames. The students completed the assignments, and the research team coded and analyzed 4 responses. Specifically, we coded responses to the following questions. Here's an example of a student who achieved LO1. Here's an example of a student who achieved LO2. And here's an example of a student who achieved LO3. Our findings indicate that most of the students achieved LO1, which was the most straightforward learning outcome. However, when more critical or abstract thinking was required, fewer students acquired the LO. Only 70% demonstrated the knowledge that an author's authority was not absolute, and fewer students showed evidence that they understood the dialogic nature of scholarship. However, we realized that the low success rate in LO3 could also be due to our assignment questions, which we have tweaked in subsequent course offerings. Having presented the case study, we have come to the call for action. First, CS educators should incorporate IL units into their courses. We should not assume that CS students have solid technical search skills or cognitive understandings on the information ecosystem. Any course that requires students to investigate new topics would benefit from some instruction in information literacy. Second, we recommend that instructors consult the framework when designing IL assignments. While technical search skills are important, we believe that the framework provides a way to incorporate critical thinking as well. We encourage instructors to reframe research as a means of intellectual discovery rather than a process to find an answer. And finally, when possible, course instructors should collaborate or at least consult with an academic librarian. Librarians are up to date on resources relevant to CS students and have expert knowledge on library services and systems. They are trained in delivering information literacy curricula and are aware of the core ideas in the framework. We have piloted a method of teaching technical and cognitive research skills. More research is required. We hope this session triggers conversations and/or collaborations on how to make it happen in CS. We invite members of the ATIXI Working Group 10 who are revising curriculum guidelines to reach out. We are happy to continue this conversation. And finally, we would like to stress the benefits of working with academic librarians. During the discussion period, we are interested in hearing your impression of your students' IL skills and which skills are a priority for you. Also, what intrigues you about the framework and our approach to IL instruction? Thank you.